Hi, my name is Steve, and I love my Kyle Builders basement. As you can see here, this was a basement that started out as basically an empty slate, and Kyle Builders came in and designed a really beautiful basement for us. We originally came into this basement with some designs from an architect that had more of a contemporary look to the basement, which didn't really match my taste or my wife's taste and the exterior of our home. So I had told Kyle and Jeff when they initially came to the home to look at it, they were looking for something more of a old world look, more of a cave type look, and they saw my vision and they understood what we were looking for. As you can see, we were trying to create a basement that didn't really have any rooms. We wanted an open floor plan design, which is what they were able to provide for us. We didn't want any walls, but I wanted to make each room look a little bit unique, where people who came to the home and to the basement understood that this was the family room, the kitchen, and so forth. And as you'll see in several of the videos and pictures, that each of the rooms have different designs which were separated out by the ceiling. So instead of creating walls, we basically created different rooms by the ceiling design. You can see a different ceiling design in the billiard room, the ping pong table area, the kitchen, the wine room that we're standing in right now, the family room where we've had an opportunity to spend multiple occasions, Christmas and Easter and various birthday parties with several family members, where each of them had an opportunity to enjoy the different parts of the basement. I really enjoyed working with Kyle and Jeff. They're phenomenal. They were probably one of the best builders that you can work with. I'm sure everybody has had experiences with different builders where after you're done or probably in the midst of it, you're ready to pull your hair out. But with Jeff and Kyle, during the process, both of them became really good friends of mine, and we still talk to this day. Kyle is a very interesting builder. He has a very unique talent that I don't think many builders have, and one of them is his artistic design. He's not an architect, but I'll tell you, somebody who can come up with drawings that look beautiful on paper, and you'll look at them and say, wow, this looks great, but can you actually implement it, and will it look like that when you actually do it? And he has a very unique talent where he'd draw it on paper, and then I would tell him, is this how it's going to look when it's done? He's like, that's how it's going to look. He did that with the wine room. He did it with the different arches we have. He did it with this area that you'll see where there is a chess table in there, where he'll put it on paper and you'll look at that thinking, oh my God, that's just gorgeous. And nobody has that ability to take something that looks like artwork or cartoon and put it into reality. And that was one of the biggest things that impressed me. And also just the most approachable person. I would call Kyle, I would email Kyle, and if there were concerns I had or something that I had to deal with, he's no problem, we have it for you. He would attend to it, he'd answer his emails. The next day he would call and say, did everything get taken care of? Make sure this person's doing it. And not even just that, very organized. You can tell that they have meetings on a regular basis. The team, which is important. Everybody on the team knew what the purpose of the meetings were. Where if they come to my house to do my project, they knew what they were doing that day. If they told you they were coming, they were there. I think that's probably one of the biggest frustrations with doing anything, especially when you're living in the home and somebody is doing renovations within your house, is are they going to show up because I have to either be home or I have to let them in. The beautiful part about Kyle and his team was if they said they're coming this week and this day, they were there early. They were there 5 to 10 minutes early, and we knew they were going to be there. And everything was done exactly the way they said it was going to be, to the expectations we wanted, and the result was exactly what we asked for. Anything I asked them to do, I'd ask, Kyle, hey, can you come up with a great design for my wine room? I want the ceiling to look a little bit different. I want the wine racks to look a certain way. 2-3 days later, he came up with a design that was unmatched compared to any famous architect you can think of, to come up with a beautiful design for the wine room. He did the same for my billiard room. He did the same for our family room. And one of the more interesting things that you'll probably see is we have a lot of different styles within the ceiling. And the interesting component of that is the reason we did a lot of that was because of some of the structural beams that we incorporated after the home. So we had built the house, and the house was amazing, but we did have areas in the upstairs where, you know, when you walk, you'll hear a little bit of vibration or feel vibration, or somebody's walking next to you, you can feel someone moving. For me, in my taste, I didn't like that. I wanted something more solid. And when I explained that to Kyle, he said, I understand what you're talking about. So we actually have incorporated about 17 steel beams in the basement that have been hidden by the different ceiling designs within the beams, which Kyle said, oh, we'll be able to hide these very easily. I didn't understand how he would do it, but you'll see these are all structural beams that they brought in, and now my upstairs feels like I'm walking on concrete. And it was something that would bother me on a day-to-day basis, but now, you know, for the past 7-8 years since they've installed the beams, I've enjoyed every day of it, where I walk upstairs and I feel like I'm walking outside in terms of the structural support. The other interesting thing you'll see with the beams is none of these are actually full solid beams. They were able to bring these pieces of wood and bring them together, and these were all custom done. These were not beams that we bought somewhere or beams that were brought in from a tree that were placed in here. These were actual normal pieces of wood that his team was able to come in and design, some off-site, some on-site, but they were able to put these pieces together and shave them down, beat them with chains, hit them with nails, and make them look like they're completely real solid beams. And you'll see every one of them looks like a real solid beam. And the even better thing about it is they've held up for all these years. There's no separation, they look brand new, their color hasn't changed, the design hasn't changed. Overall, it's just an amazing look, and it's exactly what we were looking for. We have parties here, family, friends over, and we sit, you know, in our family room. We didn't really create a theater room, but to us, that's our theater room where family and friends sit and gather, and we enjoy our time together. And overall, I think having, you know, built a beautiful basement, have phenomenal builders like Kyle Builders with Kyle and Jeff, and then becoming friends with them afterwards is probably one of the most satisfying things that we've been able to experience with Kyle Builders. And I wouldn't recommend any other builder other than Kyle Builders.